Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the CJ Harris Show. I'm CJ Harris with you for another edition of Season 2 of the CJ Harris Show. Glad to be with you. Apologize for last week. We had internet problems, plus we had a lot of storms in the area. So I chose to go ahead and be safer to go ahead and cancel the show. Week off was good because it got everything worked out. We've got a good guest list tonight. Plus, we've got a really great co-host. I love it when my main man Daniel's on here. We got a lot. We can get a lot done. Talk a lot of sports here tonight as well. We're going to hear from Shannon Hoskins here in about 10 minutes. Coach of the Perry County Central Commodores. He got a lot going on over there. They're got a brand new floor. Got their floor remodeled. It's totally different. We're going to talk to him about that. Talk to him about his team. They're in the top 3 in the region starting off preseason. We'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about him picking up Corey over the preseason and how much that's really helped him as well. I brought back Coach Mark Thompson from Belfry. Really didn't get to do his interview very well. That was the night that had a lot of problems on the internet, so decided to bring him back. So we're supposed to have him at 8:30. At 9 o'clock, we're going to have Christy Ormore. I apologize if I'm not saying her name correct. Well, she'll correct me, though. She's the head basketball coach of the Pikeville Lady Panthers. 3-time defending regional champs in the 15th region, going for their 4th title in the 15th. And then John Lowe is going to join us at 9:30. We've got a lot to talk about with John. We've got football playoffs winding down, high school basketball starting next week. We've got scrimmages winding down. We've had some good scrimmages. Also, when Shannon comes over, we're going to talk to Shannon about yesterday. They played in the a panorama over at Johnson Central. So we'll talk to him about that as well. With me, my co-host tonight is Mr. Daniel Day. He is the main man when it comes to attendance in Leslie County now. He has had so many jobs that I don't think I always say if you got so many jobs, they call you the jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Daniel's done it all. He's a principal, teacher, coach, probably sold popcorn in concession stand. I mean, he's done it all. And now he's at the Board of Education and doing a fine job down there as well. Daniel, it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Sage. Appreciate you having me back. I enjoyed being on it last year and glad you asked me to come back. I'd almost forgot it was this week because you'd asked me early on in the high school football season, but you remembered exactly when it was when you sent me the reminder. I was like, "Yep, I guess that is when it is." So
I wrote it right in my notes. I put it right in my phone as soon as I saw you that day, and I told you that. Yep. So I don't. If I don't write it down, Daniel, then I would have forgotten it. So it would have been chaos if I wouldn't have wrote it down. I'd be like, "Is it Daniel this week or is it Mark?" But I always write down in my notes in my phone what my show's going to be about and everything. Sometimes I have to make several changes, but it's not nothing hard because by Friday when I send the invitations out, usually I like to have a good idea where it's nailed down. Now, at the last second, you will have some problems like we did last week, and unfortunately, we did not get to have a show. So, but we're back this week, so hopefully we'll do the best we can. How are things going with you, Daniel?
Good, going good, Sage. I'm not doing the attendance anymore. Mr. Horton's doing the attendance. I'm doing mostly instruction now. Most of the curriculum stuff at the board. It's going good. Getting to do a lot of stuff still. You know, I'm running and biking a lot and on free time and got season tickets this year to UK football. First time I'd had season tickets in a long time. It's been a great season to have season tickets. Really enjoyed it.
You hit the jackpot this year.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Been up there with Larry Sparks and Robert Rourke. Anthony Little's up there with us. We've had a really good time.
We talked about UK a little bit. Good win yesterday. Got off to a slow start, but turnovers is what kept New Mexico State in the game early. Then they finally got going. I'm confused about something. You'll be able to fix me up on this. How come is Robinson and the quarterback, are they not seniors?
No, they're not.
So they'll be back next year if they choose to come back, right?
If they choose to come back, and Rodriguez, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Rodriguez, Robinson, and Levis all could come back if they want to, and I really hope they do. If they do, with what they've got coming in on the receiving core, could be dangerous. And then some of our backup running backs we've got right now are pretty good too. So looking forward to next year's season too, especially if those guys come back. And I think they will. The only one I'm worried about not coming back is Wandale.
Yeah, I worry about that, but you know what? He might take it. He may not. It depend. I think he's a top two round pick. He could be in the first round, late first round, early second. What I'm thinking. What are you thinking?
Well, I heard on, I don't remember what podcast it was. I was listening to maybe KSR. They were thinking maybe third or fourth right now. But, with that NIL money that they can make now, I don't know why you wouldn't come back if you're not a first or second round pick. Come back and make some more NIL money and see if you can improve your draft stock.
Yeah, that's big time. Levis, I think he really needs to come back because I think he could be a top second, third round quarterback if he come back. He's got a great arm, Daniel. He makes good decisions. The only time he don't make good decisions is when he gets locked on one receiver. Now, if you survey the field like he did a lot yesterday, he's a really good quarterback.
Yeah, I like him. More than anything, I like his toughness. He's extremely tough. He's a hard-nosed quarterback. I know it's just a 2-yard run yesterday, but I think what symbolizes what he's meant for UK this year at the quarterback position was when he just trucked that kid that come up and tried to tackle him. No, I mean, he's got a real strong arm. I think he's got a lot of intangibles. I think next year could be an even better season. I think he went over the 20 touchdown mark yesterday, and that was the first time a UK quarterback had went over the 20 touchdown mark since Mike Hartline, maybe.
It's a big game for next Saturday, and you would guess they would have to put him on the ACC network, and it would be a night game. So
on ESPN2.
I'm sorry.
I thought it was on ESPN2.
Well, it is a night game. Is that right?
It's a night game, but I thought they put it at 7:30 on ESPN2.
Okay, well you have corrected me then, because I know I was listening to the post game show yesterday on KSR, and the two slots that he was thinking about was the ACC network, and he might have mentioned ESPN2, but I'm glad they're on ESPN2. But when was the last time Louisville, Kentucky played a night game?
I can't remember.
Lord, it's been a long time.
Usually a 12 o'clock game.
Yeah, always been a day game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Lewis Ratliff has helped us out here. He's told us it is on ESPN2. That'll be a good atmosphere there at Papa John Stadium. That'll be a big game for both teams.
Yeah, I think so too. I think a lot of blue will get in up there. Even though it is a home game, I think it'll be maybe 50-50 because Louisville's had a hard time getting people to come to games this year anyway. They got a heck of a quarterback. I don't know why they're not coming to watch him. I'd love to go watch him play. But,
yeah. Oh, Lord. That's probably hard. That's probably a sold-out crowd, wouldn't you think?
If not, I would assume it'd be close because I really think some Kentucky fans are going to go up there. I think if we'd won the Tennessee game, CJ, I think had been sold out for sure. But losing that, I think it's took still some of the air out of the sails, even no matter what. Uh-oh.
he popped in on us. He come in from nowhere. That's how Shannon does. Shannon shows up when you don't expect him to be there. Daniel got his thought out, but I think Shannon scared him a little bit there. With us now is the head basketball coach of the Perry County Central Commodores and my good friend, Mr. Shannon Hopkins. Coach, it's good to have you with us tonight.
Good to be here.
A lot of things going on in Perry County. You guys have been busy over there.
We stay busy. Stay busy.
I think you're like Daniel Day. I think a Daniel Day schedule is a busy schedule. What do you think about that?
I think he has more jobs than anybody over there.
Him and Mark Collin are the only two men I know of that can come up with a bunch of jobs and not know what half of them mean.
See, you're gonna get me fired right here if you don't.
Or a promotion, man.
But you got to stay busy when you're in the educational realm. You know that, Shannon, because
Absolutely.
you've been a teacher and everything else, so I miss Daniel in the classroom. I think Daniel is one of the most superb teachers that we ever had up there. And I'll tell anybody.
He was an awful good basketball coach, so I know.
Yeah, he was. He was. I think he gave up on himself a little too soon. I think he could have hung in there. I think he could have kept going.
So like my dad, CJ, my dad told me, he said, son, it took you the last 2 years to figure out how to coach. He said, it's a shame you quit right when you finally figured out how to do it.
Can't catch a break at the house, can you, Daniel?
No.
Well, Shannon, you've had a busy summer. First of all, we had Corey back on the show early in the season, and Corey mentioned now he's helping you. Yes. And I would have to think that everybody knows that you guys are related. So, but picking up Corey, what does that bring to your team? I know it has to bring a different type of pace and move to the team, don't it?
Well, I mean, he's got that head coaching experience in the 14th region. He's faced all these guys. He's a guy who I know I can rely on because of his background. He coached with Coach Noble, who's a good basketball coach as well. It just brings a lot of good things and a lot of things that maybe we didn't necessarily hit on or go about all the time. He'll fill in on that part of it, and it's good to have him. Anytime it's good to have your family around you.
Yep. Oh, there's no doubt about that.
I think one thing too, as a head coach, you always want is people who's loyal to you, and so much you can trust. And it's going to give you honest opinion, but isn't be blunt, ain't gonna stab you back and try to get your job, and you
right.
Not even Corey like
that. You guys, I was noticing pictures of your new floor.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got your floor redone. That looks very nice over there.
It looks good. It's different. It's something that we feel like no one else around has went down that road yet, and maybe get our kids in the grade schools and things excited about coming up and being Commodores.
Yeah, I noticed there were some pictures on Facebook. If you haven't saw them, you can find them. The design was really nice. I think there's a lot of black in it. If I remember, gray. It's a little bit of gray in it. Of course, you still have John Combs Arena on the sides, but it's just a nice looking design. You guys did a good job with that.
It looks really good. Court Randy, he's got his on the
sideline there.
Too. Mm-hmm. Yep. The representations are all still there that were there before. We just went with a little different look. Got rid of the basketballs up top, and kind of a light looking color in the lanes, and then went with that middle part dark.
It's like
we weren't sure how it was going to work out.
It's like Memphis. I don't know if you've seen Memphis's court, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Memphis's, a little bit, just the same, just out of, kind of outside the box.
It's pretty cool. And that stain on that middle, and it's not quite as dark, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried about how dark the black was going to be, but I think it came out really good.
Good.
You got a chance to get on the floor for the first time yesterday. You went to Johnson Central. That was an all-day panorama. Yep. I don't know what you got to see of the other teams. I know I'm going to let you explain about your team, but what did you see throughout the day, and who was some teams you thought that could be an up-and-coming team we need to keep our eye on?
Well, we got our butts kicked by Lawrence County, so they're pretty good.
30-16. That's
a team that can shoot the lights out of the basketball. They got a lot of good guards and a phenomenal a guy that plays in the middle. He's super athletic, gets up and down the floor so well. They're well coached. Betsy Lane's got a heck of a team.
Yep.
Of course, Knott County's going to be pretty good. They look good again. So there was a lot of good basketball going on over there yesterday.
Yeah, I know Johnson Central held that panorama. I think they won 6 games. Is that right?
6 games.
Yep. You guys was what, the 3rd or 4th game?
Game
First
1.
game. You got this right off the bat.
Yeah, it's always good to get them up and playing at 10 in the morning. You know?
Let me correct myself. Lawrence County's in the 15th region. They're in the same district with Betsy Lane, Floyd Central, and Prestonsburg. And that's a tough district right there. Just naming them 3 teams, because a lot of good there. Even though scrimmaging's good for a lot of reasons, not for wins and losses. Scrimmaging's good to see what you're going to have as far as depth. Who can come off the bench and who can help you. You know who your starters are pretty much. You just you want to see what bench players are going to perform, or somebody's going to show up that you didn't expect. Talk about your team a little bit, because you got everybody back from last year.
Yeah.
And you've got a couple of new kids, the younger kids in the lower grades. Talk about your team, because you're really excited about them. I heard it in Corey's voice when he was on co-host. He was really excited about the upcoming season.
We are. We're really excited about this team. We feel like we have an opportunity to go to the state tournament. We're that good this year. Basically, those 5 starters that we had last year, with an addition of Landon Napier from Estill County and Dylan Knight from Buckhorn coming over, and then Carter Castle, Trayton Woods, and Jaden Sanders. We feel like at least 10 we can get some time, and that gives us that good depth to be able to do what we want to do as far as pushing the ball up and down and being aggressive defensively, and not having to worry about getting in foul trouble and that kind of thing. Last year we were a little short on the depth, and anytime we got in foul trouble, we thought, oh Lord, we're not going to come out on the right side of this. But this year we got a little more depth, and are feeling good about what we may be able to do.
It showed in the regional regional tournament game you played. You were playing real well early. You had all the momentum, and then you had to go to your bench. And then nothing against your bench, but when you substituted, all the air got let out, and then I think you was playing Estill in that game. Estill took advantage of that, and they, I think you ended up winning the game, but you talked about it where, especially the semifinal game, it really did hurt you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it hurt us all year, CJ. It was one of those situations where it's nothing against those kids. They just didn't have the experience, and they shouldn't have been on the floor in those situations. Shouldn't have had to be. It was just one of those situations where sometimes as a coach you get into, because, hey, maybe that sophomore class has only got 2 kids that came through, and that's the what we were facing last year.
Daniel, you got any questions for Shannon?
No, I think that's a good point too, because a lot of times people say, "What do you mean our bench wasn't that good? Are you talking about my kids?" No, I'm not talking about.
No.
We're just saying that sometimes you're just not ready for that situation, right. And you're just forced into it. It's nothing against the kid or nobody,
No, as a coach, you feel awful about putting them in those situations
because you feel like you're failing them because you're having to do it too.
Absolutely.
So, totally get it. So, with 10 deep, Shannon, are you thinking y'all going to be up tempo, pressing type team this year?
We're definitely going to be up tempo team. We're going to run up and down. We're going to press some. I don't know that we can press for a whole game. I think maybe doing it a whole game may take out some of our guys like Lance McKenzie and Dylan Knight, who are a couple guys that can really score in the paint, and I don't want them completely taken out. But we're going to try to press quite a bit of the game, and we're definitely going to push on the offensive end and run a fast-paced tempo.
One thing always when you played against any team Shannon coached, I mean, even back when Shannon coached Jackson City, when I was in high school. Gosh, they played hard. I mean, his kids will play hard. And if they don't play hard, there'll be a spot for them on the bench.
That's how it's got to be done.
That's right. That's right.
The region as a whole, Shannon, pretty solid. I was sad to see John leave, but I understand why John went to Montgomery County. He did it for a lot of reasons. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
but he'll be a great addition to the 11th region down there and our 10th region, excuse me, and getting the Indian program back on track. But as a whole, you would have to say early on, Breathitt County looks like probably the best team on paper. They've got 3 or 4 kids who are right now Division I talent. The college kid, of course, is back in Jackson. If you don't guard him, he's a scoring machine to paint. But the thing about Breathitt County, I think I've noticed more than anything, their 3-point shooting will kill you. Even though they're not a big team, they're just deadly from 3-point range. Talk about the region as a whole, because I know Al's back. Al returned. Hazard's going to be solid. Talk about the region as a whole.
I agree in the fact that Breathitt will be your regional favorite. I think to start the year, that they have just their size is what to me makes them a favorite. You may be able to outmatch them in the guard position, but once you get in that lane, everything changes. And they got 3 guys that can play in that lane area with length and athleticism and girth and size that no one else has. And that to me makes them a huge danger. Of course, you can talk about their shooting and Austin Sperry's athleticism at the point. There's a lot of things you can talk about. There's a lot of talent on that team, but to me, that's the thing that sets them apart from everybody else is that size they're going to have in that middle region. And then, I think we will be there. Cordia, I'm hearing, is going to be there. I don't know what they have exactly coming back or in. But
I know a team I left out, Coach, Lee County. Lee County's loaded with they got probably the 2 best scorers in the region.
Well, the Watterson kid, I saw him play last year. He's a dandy scorer.
Yes.
I think they may be, for the first time in a while, a chance to come out of that 56 district.
Yep.
I think Hazard's going to be right there in the mix again.
It's also great to have Brian Hall back in the region. I know
it's fantastic to have Brian back in the region. I miss him.
With John leaving, we're sad, but we pick up Brian, who's a very good coach, really knows what he's doing, and I think he'll keep the Engineers going.
Great coach, great person.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
fantastic. I love him.
No, you can't beat him. And going back to Breathitt just a little bit, Siege, he's got, what Coach Noble's got down there is, they're going to be an athletic team.
all over the floor.
Super athletic team. I know he's really going to be able to play the way he kind of wants to play.
Yeah.
And it's going to be wild and hectic and crazy. I think his biggest problem this year will be, he's got so much talent. Sometimes you got a lot of mouths to feed. He's going to have to make sure to keep everybody happy. It's the same way with like UK this year. UK's 8 or 9 deep in basketball, just kind of the same thing. That's a blessing and a curse sometimes.
It's tough when you're in that situation, but I definitely had rather be that way than the other.
I don't think anybody feels sorry for him.
No, not at all.
If you've got 13 really great players, we don't want you to feel sorry for us. We're just going to have to play all 13 kids. We'll find some minutes for them. There's no problem with that. But you need a lot of depth because we saw a lot of things go wrong and a lot of things. You got to have that depth, or you're not going to be a good basketball team.
Yeah. There's too many things that can go wrong in a game with injuries and foul trouble and just freak stuff throughout the year that you got to have depth to be able to compete on a high level.
One final question. You got one more scrimmage, right, left. Who do you play and when is it?
We'll play Betsy Lane at Betsy Lane,
Yes.
8:00 on Wednesday. And we're going to treat it as a little more of a traditional type scrimmage. This game, we kind of did the platoon thing and let everybody get some minutes and see how they could compete, on what level they could compete. Went to about 12 on it. And then the next game probably will cut that down significantly and try to go a little more how we're going to start the year and play that way and get some more things in defensively and offensively.
Well, Shannon, it is always an honor to have you on the show. I know you'll come back anytime I need you.
Absolutely.
One thing I do want to mention, maybe you can help me out with. I've been trying to get up with Misty. I'd love to have her on the show because I like to talk about her Lady Commodores. So if you could pass the word maybe to her and let her know that I'm interested, tell her to try to get up with me on Facebook or Twitter somewhere there. We'll try to get that done. I'd like to get her on the program, get her Lady Commodores some exposure.
Definitely so. She's got a dandy little team.
Yep, they're going to be pretty good as well. Well, Shannon, good luck to you on Thursday or Wednesday as you go play there at Betsy Lane. That there's 5 games. I'm going to talk about those games in a little while. But also, good luck to you in the WYMTV Mountain Basketball Classic. You guys got invited. Glad to be you're in there. You're going to be playing one of the late games, I believe. Is it Wednesday night late game? I believe is that what you play?
Yeah, play a tough, painful team.
Yep. So that will be, but congratulations on that. You deserve to be in that tournament. And I tell you what, I told somebody the other day, this is the best field that WYMTV's ever put together on the boys' side. You've got 8 really good basketball teams that all 8 can win that YMT. All 8. And you never had that before. Usually you'll have 2 or 3 teams that can win it. And then you'll have 2 or 3 teams that don't even deserve to be there, and 2 or 3 teams that just happen to maybe win a game and don't, But this time, this field of 8, everyone deserves to be there. Everyone can win it.
I agree with that. It's a really good field.
Yep, it's tough. Well, good luck to you, Shannon. We'll holler at you later in the season and get some more info from you. And good luck to you guys. Stay healthy and be safe.
All right, great seeing you guys. See you.
Good to see you, Shannon. Thank you. Shannon Hoskins of the Prairie County Central Commodores. You know me, Daniel. I don't hold punches back.
No punches held, Sage.
You don't hold it back. I'll let it go. Because sometimes some people don't. You get in these tournaments and you just don't know who's what. I understand how they base a lot of tournaments. You're inviting people from the year before, but a lot of times your roster don't wind up being that way. Sometimes when you come back the next year.
Right, that's right. And listen, Coach Hoskins he's a great coach. He really is. He was one of the hardest ones, one of the hardest coaches to coach against in the region. And I was coaching just because he would always he kind of take the game out of the coach's hands, especially when we played us. Like he would make your players and everybody just so uncomfortable defensively. They would be all up in you. They'd be all up in passing lanes. And he coaches extremely hard. We used to joke with him all the time too, Siege, because he was a great basketball player. If they could never, none of his kids could ever say, well, coach couldn't do this, coach couldn't do that. No, Shannon could do about anything he wanted to on the floor.
Yes. Yeah. If you never watched him play high school basketball, I don't know if there's any clips on YouTube of him playing. There could be, but you need to watch him play. He was unbelievable. He could shoot it from anywhere on the floor. I mean, he could shoot it from the parking lot and nail it. I mean, that's just what kind of player Shannon was. And that's why he's become such a good coach. He's done a good job there. This new rule where you can allow seniors and underclassmen to reclassify was a good thing. I think it's worked out well for everybody.
Yeah, especially after what all the kids had to go through the past year. I mean, I think it was a no-brainer. I think the state did a really good thing putting that through. I mean, it truly was about the kids. Yeah.
You talked about LMI a little bit ago, college. I don't understand why a lot of these kids don't want to stay. I mean, you can make a ton of money. They are doing it's amazing the numbers that some of these kids are making. And I'm like, wow, why can't I make that type of money? But they deserve it because they work hard. They're there they're there. And, I think, it was just a really good thing. So, I mean, there's nothing.
I think so too. I think that name, image, likeness stuff has been great because I mean these. I know the kids have scholarships, but these universities make tons of money off of these kids. They should be able to make some because all these kids ain't going to go make pros. Like nothing against. I mean, Dante Allen may never play pro basketball. He may, but he may not. But he's making some NIL money right now. So I think it's a great thing for the kids.
Well, speaking of Kentucky player, every one of them is making ML money right now by different things. There was one that I heard on Bitcoin that was a really good thing. It gave them like a debit card. It gave them a amount of money they could use for I thought, well, that's a great idea. Where'd they come up with that idea? And I thought that's super. So I mean, it's just unbelievable what what comes out of that. We'll see more of that as we go along. You spoke of Kentucky, got a big win Friday night against a tough Ohio team. I told people before they played Ohio, Ohio, I think will win the MAC again. And I think there'll be about a 10, 11, no, about a 12 seed. But they showed Friday night that they've got the weapons to play. But I was impressed with Kentucky in the second half because I thought they really got after it on the defensive end, and I thought it really helped them.
Absolutely. No, I really like this UK team. I love Big Oscar Sheboy. I think they're going to be really fun to watch. I think right now they're a Sweet 16 Elite 8 team with the possibility of going to the Final Four.
Yep. Joining us now, if he can hear us, is Coach Mark Thompson of the Belfry Pirates. Coach, can you hear us? There he is. Coach, can you hear us? He's trying to get settled in there.
We can see him.
Can yeah. Oh, you can hear us. Okay. Coach, we can not hardly hear you, though. Can you turn yourself up a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Coach, it's good to have you back. I felt that I didn't give you a fair shake the first time because my computer problems and stuff. So I didn't get to really hear a whole lot about your team because I'm excited about your team. I think you got a team that can really compete for the 15th region. But as we spoke the last time, how have things been going, and have you had a scrimmage yet?
Yeah, things have been going really good. I mean, we've been practicing. I feel like we've been getting better.
Look, he's froze up.
Yeah, he's frozen up. Plus, he's froze up. Hopefully, he'll come back in just a second.
Okay.
We'll add him to the stream here. We'll bring him back.
Okay.
We'll take this one. We'll remove him from the stream. Coach, are you there?
I think you might have removed the wrong one, Sage.
Oh, did I remove the wrong one? I'm so sorry. Let's see. Let's add him to the stream, and let's remove him. Okay, and hopefully I did the right thing there. Coach, can you hear me now?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can just barely, but we can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
You was talking about your practices, and I'd asked you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with all this technology stuff, I'm not a technology guy. I'm old school.
We're all learning these days, Coach.
We've been getting better. I feel like our team is coming along, and I kind of like where we are. We get to scrimmage this week, and we'll kind of be able to judge ourselves from that, and be able to go back on the.
So it froze up again, Sage.
Yeah, Yeah, weather is there is weather out there,
Cool.
folks. I do need to remind everybody because it about 10
Hey.
minutes ago, not five, well, less than that, about 5 minutes ago, it was absolutely peppering the rain out here. No. Now, Daniel, I have got my computer back up and running. Now, I don't know how this is going to go. So, if for some purpose I disappear, just handle things till I reappear. Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to get back on the computer. I won't back in there because I can hear better, and also might be able to take a phone call if I can get my back on the computer. Let me see what I can do. So, will you go ahead and handle things right now, and then I will get back with you just a minute, okay?
Cool. Hopefully, we can get Coach Thompson back on. Coach Thompson has been at Belfry now for a while. Was still coaching was coaching at Belfry when I was at Leslie. Has built a really good program, and I'm sure one of the things there at Belfry, even though it is a little bit bigger of a school, you still have to share athletes and just how good of a football program they've had there as well. Just to continue to have to share those athletes for football to basketball. Hopefully we can get him on here and ask him some of those questions. But he's built a good program up there.
Okay, can you hear me, Daniel?
I can.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my phone back over here just in case it goes down. Then I'll have a backup. We're on the CJ Howard Show. I don't want to mess nothing up, so I'm just going to go ahead and not take any phone calls. We'll just go with this. See if we can't get Coach Thompson back if we can. He just tried to leave me a mail, a Twitter. Let me see what he said.
I think
he was telling me about he was having some internet problems.
I think his internet was messed up on him.
Okay, we'll see if we're back here. He said his Wi-Fi has been giving me problems. Understandable. The weather is a little rough out there tonight.
Right.
But you're on the CJ Howard Show with us, Daniel Day. CJ Howard with you. We're live here from my home. We're trying to get up with Coach Mark Thompson of the Belfry Pirates. He's got a good team, Daniel. If you look at his roster, he's got a lot of returning players. But one player in that I want to bring up is his big 7-footer. The big kid from last year, everybody's been talking about him, and he's been being highly recruited by several colleges, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, I think he is as well. I think Coach is back now.
Is he back? Coach, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Coach?
I can. It has to be my Wi-Fi. I think it's where I live. It's just bad.
Coach, the weather is bad outside tonight too. So you're doing the best. You're doing great. I'm proud that you're trying your best. Listen, my computer went down on me before the show again tonight, so I had to let it do its thing, and then finally it started working. But
right,
you're talking about you get the scrimmage this week for the first time. Who do you scrimmage, and where will it be located?
Well, we were supposed to scrimmage Knox. I don't know if that's going to happen now. I don't know what's going on there, and then I think coming next Saturday we scrimmage Corbin at South Laurel. And Coach Petrosky has a heck of a team down there, and they are really super talented. How good we are, or we got to get better at, and all that.
Definitely get a couple good play a couple good teams right off the bat in scrimmage for sure. That'll be a good test to start the year out, even if it isn't a regular season game.
Coach, we talked a little bit when you was on here the first time about your schedule. I was talking.
That's right.
Yeah. I told you when you was on here earlier that I know you have a good team when you're invited to the King of the Bluegrass. That's one of the most precious tournaments in the state of Kentucky. Tell me how your kids have responded to being invited to that, because I feel like only the elite get invited, and your team is, I think, an elite team. Okay, his internet's just not. It's trying its best to try
I don't
to.
know if it's going to cooperate.
Yeah, it's not cooperating, so he'll try to get back with Smith. But you know, Daniel, he's playing in the King of the Bluegrass. The
Mhm.
King of the Bluegrass is one of the top 3 tournaments in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, probably considered the top one in the state. I'd say, Siege, as far as just invitational style tournament. I don't really know of one. Used to, I don't know. I guess they call it, when I was in school, it was the Fifth Third Bank Classic. I don't know, was it the Republic Bank Classic or whatever?
I would say the Fifth Third is 1, and Fairdale, the King of the Bluegrass is 2.
Right.
And then I know a lot of schools don't play in it, but the Louisville Invitational will be 3
Right.
because
Just the top.
some teams in the state get to play now, but mostly that's all Louisville schools. And probably the other will be the Toyota Classic at Scott County.
Oh yeah. There's
I
some.
think those are the top 4 big tournaments that you want to play in if you're
right.
If you're a coach of a team, if you got a real good team.
Yeah, I would really like to go to the Louisville Invitational Tournament one time just to watch it. It didn't matter. There's so much talent up there in the city of Louisville. No matter if they could win 5 games. But when you played against them, I know anytime we did, they were always a super competitive team. No matter which team it was, Louisville, they were always had a good club.
Yeah, you get invited that, you're right off the bat. If Coach Thompson don't come back, I'll invite him back later in the season when he might be able to get to some better internet.
Yeah, I don't think his Wi-Fi is going to work tonight, Siege.
No, I don't think it's going to cooperate with him. But we got a lot we can talk about. So, because at 9:00 we'll hear from Coach Ormo. I can't pronounce her name. I know she's going to with me. But the Pikeville girls coach, we're going to talk with her in a little bit. We mentioned a moment ago let me go over something. We talked about Kentucky's. We was talking about the Ohio game before Coach Thompson popped on. But what was your thoughts about the game? Because I thought it was a good. One good reason why I thought it was a good game for the Cats. Shea Wade got in foul trouble, and others had to play, and I think that was good to see.
Yep, it was. That's actually, me and my wife was watching it, and I said really the same thing to her. I said, I hate to see him get 2 fouls, but we need to see what we can do without him here because it's going to happen in SEC tournament play. It was a good like get right game for Ty and for Mintz. I thought their energy and Mintz's energy, that game was just unbelievable. Really liked that kid. Glad he came back. He had to go through such a hard year last year. But this team has a lot of pieces. The one thing that worries me is we don't have just a lanky, athletic wing that can just score. But they may have that Shaden Sharp, the number 1 player that reclassified that'll be enrolling here. He may play starting in January and February, so we'll see. But no, I really like this team. I really do. It's got one thing that I'd been aggravated about a couple of our UK teams recently was no shooting, and we've got plenty of shooters on this team. And I don't think you can win in today's basketball or any basketball throughout any era without some sort of shooting. So I think that's going to kind of help UK a lot, not only in the SEC but in the NCAA tournament this year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. The next game Kentucky will play is tomorrow night. You can't watch that on TV. Sorry.
No, you'll have to have ESPN Plus. If you got ESPN Plus, you can watch it. It's the same way like this year during the Chattanooga football game, the UK versus Chattanooga football game. If you got an ESPN Plus account, you can watch it that way.
And the next 2 games are actually that way. The University of Albany, and then Friday night's game with North Florida. This also will not be. You cannot watch it. You have to have ESPN Plus. So that will be big. Also big news on the recruiting front. I think it's a huge pickup for the Cats. In the long run, it's going to be the biggest. I think the big piece of the puzzle, but Reed Sheppard did commit to the University of Kentucky. What was your thoughts on that, Daniel?
That was huge. Me and my dad was on the way to the UK football game, and I was driving. He was in the passenger seat, and he had up on his. We were actually going through London when Reed was making his announcement, and he had it streaming on WIT on his phone. It was cool to listen, watch the kid play since he was little. A lot of times with White Hensley, when White would go play AAU with him, so I've seen the kid play a bunch. Hardworking kid, just seems like such a fine young man. And I think it's the highest rated in-state recruit that Kentucky has landed since Rex Chapman.
Wow.
He's higher rated than Hawkins or Miller or any of them. So he's the highest rated since Rex Chapman.
Darius Miller is one of my favorite players of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know what now, Daniel, and I think you'll agree with me on this. Don't just take the pressure off Reed. Does it now? He can just go play ball. He doesn't have to look behind him or in front of him. People aggravate him saying, Reed, where you go? Where you go? Where you go? Where you go? It's out. It's over. It's over with. It's time to play ball and put the numbers up that you can put up every game and show why you think you're a Mr. Basketball candidate in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, I think he kind of referenced that in his press conference. Rather, they asked him why now, and he said, "I just wanted it over with." He really didn't enjoy it. He'd known since he was a little boy he wanted to play for UK, so he just wanted it out of the way. Looks like Sage, you got a couple comments. Says Lewis Ratliff on the way think about Ty out rebounding Big Oscar.
Oh yeah, but that's impressive. We've got to have those though. Yeah, we talked about when Oscar's not in the game, you got to have other people rebounding like Ty and or Brooks. I thought the one person that played well, what's the freshman that come off the bench there, hit a couple of big threes, played about 10, 11 minutes. Give him good minutes though. Was it Cameron Scott, or what was the kid that come off the bench there? He's one of the freshmen that come off there later in the game, but he played really well. He may not have been a freshman. He might have been an older kid. Was it Grady?
No, Grady's the kid from Davidson that scored over 2,000 there.
Okay.
But now for Lewis there, I think that's big for Ty to get to double figure rebounding though, because that's one thing that Cal always demands out of his guards. If you'll think back to even Tyler Hero, like he would always just harp on Hero, rebound the ball. And Ty's only about 6'3", and to get in there and rebound like he does, I think that bodes well for the rest of the season as well.
Kentucky's next 4 or 5 games are against lesser competition. I don't mean to put that down. Not until they get to the Ohio State game. Will that be their next big time competition? Nolan wants to know. Nolan's telling me some here. Scott Cornett led his boys team to a tough road win over New Albany and Kokomo, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Hopes is starting his season off 2-3 coaching. And Nolan wanted everybody to know that. Nolan, thank you. Actually, I did know that Coach Cornett and them had beaten New Albany, but I did not know they had beaten Kokomo. So that's a big win for. I tell you what, Daniel, Scott has done an unbelievable job coaching basketball at Floyd. For somebody, it's this is I think his 3rd or 4th year coaching, and him to coach baseball too. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how he does it, and he gets good results.
He does. He's had a lot of success there with the basketball team since taking it over. They play a fun brand of basketball to watch. The New Albany, which I guess they're called Indiana University Southeast. When I was at Al Sloyd playing, they were always one of the teams that always won. Well, what was then the KIAC was the conference we were in. So that's a very good win. I'm sure the program's really not went off any. I actually talked to Fred Brashear about it Saturday. Seen him at First Watch in Richmond, and he was telling me about he talked to Scott and about IU Southeast and how they were traveling to Kokomo to play. So that's 2 really good wins. And listen, that's hard. Coming from somebody who played at Al Sloyd, traveling like that, because you load up a lot. Now sometimes they'll get the charter bus or to go on the big Indiana trips like that. But a lot of times you load up in the vans and go, and the coach will also drive the van and then get off and coach and then put them back on. So he has a lot of duties there, and hats off to Coach Cornett.
Trust me, Daniel, my brother Dan, rode many of the bus and would aggravate Coach Cornett till he couldn't be aggravated no more. I think that was his number one duty. But I asked him, I said, "Did you ever ride a charter bus in the 4 years you played baseball there?" He goes, "Maybe one time." I said, "I don't ever remember riding a charter bus to a baseball game." I said, "Well, we're going to hook you guys up."
Yeah,
we can't be having you guys riding in the buses. Lewis wants to know the Step family making
to make his prosthetic leg. Yeah, they've been in that business for years. I think Irvin runs it now, along with some of the other family members, maybe their sister. But yep, they've done that. I think in the Ashland area for a while now. They've done prosthetics. Yep.
Yeah, that's if you're unfortunately, if you have that problem, you need to see them because they can help you out with a solution, I think, to your problem. The women got a big win today, Daniel. They beat they beat Winthrop 92-47. They will play again on Saturday night when they will play LaSalle at 8:30 at the gym there. Usher Lewis is just remind us what kind of a great family the Steps people are, and they are. They do a lot for Alice Lloyd, for everybody in the community. But that was a good win for the Lady Cats today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Of course, so we mentioned the Louisville game Saturday afternoon on ESPN2, 7:30 kickoff. The night game. I can't remember the last time Louisville, Kentucky played a night game because usually it's been a day game. But that will be interesting as well. Shannon mentioned it. I mentioned it. The matchups for the 35th annual WYMTV Mountain Basketball Classic, Daniel, were announced. We talked about this field, but once you hear the matchups, I think you're going to totally agree with me why I made that statement earlier. On the girls' side, it will start off on Monday night, first game, 6 o'clock. You'll have the Belfry Lady Pirates to take on the Knott County Central Lady Patriots. And then in the nightcap, a doozy. I think it's going to be a really good basketball game. The Shelby Valley Lady Wildcats to take on the Leslie County Lady Eagles. That'll be about an 8:10, 8:15 tip. You know how the YMT times are sometimes. They might tell you play one time. What was it? Your senior year. Daniel loves this story. We played in the semifinals, and I don't even think the half of the first game had got over with. The storm come through there, knocked electricity out. The second, your guys' game did not start until 11:45, close to midnight.
Yeah. The semifinal game against North Laurel.
Yeah.
Semifinal game against North Laurel. Yeah, it was North had a good team that year. We were lucky enough to win the YMT that year. But I mean, that's a great tournament at Siege. I mean, it really is. Getting to play in it and getting to coach in it. There's a lot of good memories.
Yeah, well, I'm glad our girls are in it. Got a good chance to got to be the Shelby Valley team that a lot of people like. They got the Rowe girl who just committed to Kentucky. That's right. The Lady Cats. Boys games on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. The Shelby Valley Wildcats will take on the Knox Central Panthers at 8:15. John Noble's West County Bobcats will take on the Johnson Central Golden Eagles. At 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, game one will be the Patriots of Knox County Central versus the Harlan Green Dragons, who I think is the dark horse in the 13th. I've said it here. I think a lot of people are looking at Knox Central and North Laurel and South. Better watch them Harlan Green Dragons. We had Coach Cal on here a couple weeks ago. He's phenomenal. And the nightcap will be the 8 o'clock game. The Paintsville Tigers, of course, they're playing the Commodores of Perry County Central. So, your thoughts about that, Daniel? Because that's a good field. I mean, I don't see a weak game there.
No, there's not a weak game there. There's a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches. I guess I wasn't. I wasn't aware. I guess that our girls team at Leslie is going to be playing against Shelby Valley. I'm really looking forward to going and watching that game. I mean, that'll be. I know they've got the row girl. We've got some really talented guards too. So that'll be a really fun game to watch. Because I know how Coach Sparks likes to play too, and how that girl likes to play. So that'll be extremely fun to watch. Got to know her father. Her father back when he coached middle school boys basketball. He's a great guy. Great guy. It's a good
He's
family.
the boys coach now at Shelby Valley.
Well, he's the girls coach. Her father.
I'm sorry, he's the girls coach.
Mhm.
His brother is the boys coach.
That's right.
So they're both coaching both teams now. So they've got. I'm going to get Coach Rowe back on here. Hopefully, either next week or the week after. I love when he was on here. It was a really good. He actually, when he done his guest appearance, he done it from the gym. They had just got done with practice. He had a couple of the girls with him. I thought it was a cool moment, and that was. We spoke of the Lady Eagles. They scrimmaged the other night. Played Pineville. We just played one varsity game because Pineville only got 8 varsity kids. So, but thought it looked pretty good. Played pretty well. We won by 40-some points. They didn't keep I had the running total, but we scored each quarter. Wipe it off and put it back up. But that it will be a fun game. Another fun game is a boys game right here. I like this Perry Central Paintsville game. I think it's going to be a battle of Landon Sloan guards versus Perry Central's big people inside. If they can score in the Paintsville, they got a chance to win the game. But if they can't score in the paint, then they're going to have to hope they hit the threes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Should be a good matchup right there. I don't know a lot about Paintsville's team or what they've got, but no, their coach was a heck of a basketball player too. He really was. Get him and Coach Hoskins. You think they can play some one-on-one at halftime?
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be very interesting. That would be very, very interesting. I would love to see that.
Before we get any other guests on, we better looking through the comments. Sage looks like Tiny Caudle and.
We did David Tiny Caudle. He referees now in the 15th region. I don't know if you knew that or not. He refereed our game at Betsy Lane last year. And Tiny was saying to two good friends, Daniel and CJ. Then Lewis has had several comments. He mentioned that the Louisville games on or Kentucky Louisville games on ESPN. UK fans need to flood the Papa John Stadium. Then, of course, we turned from Nolan. Nolan is a ball of knowledge. I would like for you to spend one day with him, Daniel, and you would walk away probably the most impressed man you'd ever been. You thought Ryan Farber is very knowledgeable. He is. But I would love to hear a conversation between Nolan, Ryan, and me be the mediator. And you'd be there watching because it would be the most intense. It'd be the greatest thing ever because they would match each other's wit. See, Nolan this, grappling back and forth. They need to meet each other. I need to get that arranged someday. Nolan, I met him first time I met Nolan was at Perry Central. I met him at the All-Star games they used to have there at the John C. Combs Arena. He is a dandy. Daniel Hicks wants to know the two best guards in the 15th are Sal and I guess these are the two kids that play for Belfry. I guess he can let us know. But Daniel,
I'm a little behind on since I've been out of coaching for a few years. I'm a little behind on my 15th.
Yeah, we're sorry about that, Daniel, but we're guessing these are the two kids that play for Belfry, right? I can tell you actually right now. I had Belfry's schedule and stuff up here. I can tell you if that's yes. Saldine guard junior for Belfry. Yeah, that was correct. Thank you. I thought I was. I wasn't for sure. I like to have my notes brought up. And the other kid is let's see. That one boy is a junior, Daniel. This other kid, he is a I think he's senior.
Okay.
He's correct. These are two of the better guards in the force. I tell you what, Belfry's got, everybody's talking in the 15th about Johnson Central, Paintsville, Shelby Valley, Pikeville, but nobody's talking about Belfry. Betsy Lane and Belfry are your two. I think they're two dark horse teams that could steal a show. We had Coach Newsom on here a couple weeks ago, and his panorama is coming up this coming Wednesday night. We're going to talk about that. But I love these two teams. I think they're going to be exciting. They're going to have, as we talked about with Coach Thompson for his internet problems, anytime you get invited to the King of the Bluegrass, you're there. We're also being seen all over the world on the D&D Sports Network. If you've not, you need to give them a shout out. They are tremendous people. The sophomore and juniors, the two kids are guards, and the senior is 7'3" Bo. How you pronounce his name? Curry. Is that how you pronounce it? So yeah, we knew about the 7'3" guy. He last year was very important.
Right.
And Lewis is telling us that Pikeville has got some great guards. They do got a pair of guards this year, pretty good. And Daniel Hicks comes back and says the best big man he's talking about the big boy at Belfry. If you've not seen him play, Daniel, I think there's some highlights on maybe YouTube and stuff. He is
highlights on YouTube. Yeah, I have, and I've not got to watch Belfry since I got out of coaching. But now when we would play Coach Thompson's teams in summer ball and stuff, he really liked to get up in you. They've done some run and jump stuff, some full court man. I don't know if he does that still or not, but sounds like he's definitely got a rim protector around the basket, that you could gamble and give some stuff up because you've always got somebody there to correct any mistakes at the basket.
This is what I like, folks. This is one of the things, Daniel, I love. We get people in the comment box going one after another. This is what I like to see. It gives me and Daniel or whoever my co-host is an opportunity to talk about different things because we love to do that. We love to do this stuff. This is so much fun. I'm trying to let's talk a little bit of football. I know that's not your wheelhouse, but you're up to date on what we got. We're down to the semifinals, state semifinals, and we've got 4-5 mountain teams left. We're guaranteed a possibility. Well, not guaranteed, but we're possibility we can get 3 of them in Commonwealth next week. The matchups for our mountain teams that do remain, and here they are. You got Raceland going to travel to Pikeville. We'll go over this just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get Coach in here, get her going. I know she's had a busy day. She had basketball practice right before she come to us. So
right off the bat, you better get her just to pronounce her last name for you. So you
Coach, would you please pronounce your last name? We do not want to gut it because I know a lot of people probably do not say your name correctly.
It's Orem, O-R-E-M. Pretty easy.
Orem. Okay, all right. Yep. I don't want to make sure I got it correct because I don't want to make you look bad or make you sound like Coach. I've been keeping up with you the past 2 or 3 years. You guys are the 3-time defending regional champions in the 15th. It's unbelievable what you've done. And to talk about your team because you've got another good team and you just added a really nice piece to your team. So talk about your team.
Well, I don't think it's unbelievable what I've done. I mean, I do what everybody does. It's coaching basketball. We're all coaching the same thing. I think it's really what our kids have done and that they've bought in and they've played for each other. It's really hard, in today's world to get kids to play and be great teammates. And that's one of our focuses is that we've got to be better teammates and we want to do what it takes to get our teammates in position to succeed and to not be worried about the big I. And I think that's why we've been able to be successful is because, if you look at our team the last 3 years, we've not had anybody on our team average more than 16 points. There's no, one big dog that everybody's trying to key on. And that's purposeful from our team. That's what we want. We talk about all the time that we're going to go out and different people are going to lead us every night. Different people are going to lead us offensively, defensively, and everything that we're trying to achieve. But it's fun to be in Pikeville right now. I definitely am excited about the group of girls that I have this year, and we've got a really challenging schedule coming up.
There's no question about that, Coach. I was just peeking at it. You're going to Assumption to play in their Christmas tournament. And what I know about Assumption from the past 4 or 5 years, they've been a top 5, 6 team around the Louisville area. And when you're going down there, you're going to probably face some of the best competition in Louisville and maybe even out of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that tournament because you got to be excited because then you turn around. You don't have much turnaround before you go to Fort Myers, Florida, to play in the Queen of the Palms tournament after that. So talk about that 2 tournaments there because that's going to be 2 huge, big tournaments for you.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I want our kids to be seen and to play at a different level than just our local area. I mean, no, just because we have great teams in our region, but I feel like it's important for me to promote my girls and people to see what we have. And honestly, we're not happy with the fact that we've gone to Rupp Arena 3 years in a row and got beat by teams that we haven't been able to see throughout the year. So hopefully this will give us the opportunity to have a little bit better competition. I wouldn't say better, but different. They play different in different areas of the state. And so it'll just give us an opportunity to probably face some adversity, to be challenged, and how we respond to that's going to be big. And then Florida tournament, that's more about the fact that thank God we can finally travel again and we can take the kids and go do some fun things with them. I'm not like most coaches. I enjoy being around my girls and I enjoy spending time with them, not just on the court. So I'm excited about getting on a trip and having some fun with them.
I agree 100%. I think camaraderie with the team and the coaches is so important. And to do where you're going to Fort Myers, that's a nice place. So you're going to enjoy yourself a whole lot. Yeah.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
The guys at D&D had said to ask her about all the hardware she'd accumulated since she's been the AD at Pikeville. I know one of the things that I always enjoyed, and I guess it's the same way. I've not been to Pikeville High School in a couple of years, but when I was still coaching, we would come up there during the summer and play. When you walk into the high school, first thing you see is the trophy cases and just all the trophy. I just think that just kind of sets the tone. And not only are they great athletically, but also academically too. But yeah,
one of the things that has always been big for me is that winning is contagious. And if you see any of the hashtags I put out there, I believe that's why we do win here. I think if you're winners on the court, you're winners in the classroom. I think if you're winners in the classroom, you're going to be winners in the court. And so I think it's really important that we understand that we're trying to develop the entire person, not just athletics, not just academics. We want to be good at everything. And I think, it starts at the top. We've got administration that believes in that and believes that if we teach our kids and really focus on winning, that's going to be good for us. And so, I'm blessed, to be the athletic director here. I think about it all the time, and I think about how lucky I am to just be a small part of every one of these kids' athletic experiences in high school. And, I'm really big on, I think the reason we are successful too is that we share our athletes and our kids play more than one sport. And I think that is really big too.
You got to be excited coming up Friday night as your football team gets set to play in the semifinals for the 4th out of the last 5 years.
Yep.
We're playing wrestling team that's pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
Should be a really good football game, shouldn't it?
Yes, it will be, and it's here, so that means a lot of work by me, that's exciting because our kids they kind of felt like last year they let Hazard come in and beat us, and so it's kind of been a revenge year for them. We've got a group of seniors that have worked really hard and are excited to come back out here and hopefully get ourselves back down to Kroger Field where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing about it is a lot of people don't know this football team is loaded with juniors. Most of the kids that play are underclassmen. I mean, you got a good group of seniors, but the juniors and sophomores have been the ones that a lot of these coaches have said has been the spark plugs that have run the team, especially the last part of the season.
Well, I mean, when you think about our team, you definitely think about Birchfield and what he does for us.
Coach, I noticed that how important is it in your region to stay? I mean, I know it's important to stay focused all the time, but the one big thing in your region, I don't know who the favorites are this year because I've been studying. I know you're the favorite, but tell me some teams that you think. Johnson Central's still pretty good this year.
Oh yeah, Johnson Central's really good. Shelby Valley is going to be very good. I mean, you've got Cassidy, who's a great player, and definitely our Miss Basketball candidate that I think everybody should vote for this year in this area. And I think that they've got 2 really good players, and then they got 5 really good players that can play. They got a shooter in Looney, and they've got 2 big post players, and they've got an 8th grade post player that's really good too. And then, like you said, Johnson Central will be good. Lawrence County, I think Kinsley Feltner is amazing. I mean, that kid can play. And, she's one that she just gives everybody in the region fits because she's super hard to guard.
Yeah. You talked about Lawrence County. I forgot about her. She's one of she's one of the top players in the region last year.
She's one of the best players in the state. Yeah.
Betsy Lane has a new head coach. I'm trying to remember. I done this the other day. Betsy Lane has a new head coach. There's a couple of Magoffin County. They get a new coach. No, I don't think so. I know there was a couple of schools. You guys had some new coaches. When new coaches come in, do they not understand how the 15th region is? Because I mean, you guys play a lot different basketball than anybody else.
Well, I think when I came here, I was at Fleming County for 16 years and was in the 16th region. And when I came here, I really wanted to be part of mountain basketball. I thought it was just, I remember growing up at Paintsville and playing at Paintsville. And so that was for me really important. But I think our region as a whole is really physical. I think the play is really physical. And I think that, that kind of lends to my type of play sometimes because we have to get after you and we like to get after you. And so, but then it has cost me every time I've gone to the state tournament because we've gotten foul trouble every time we've gone to the state tournament.
But you're a smart coach, and every year that you work on that stuff to make sure that you get better if you get a chance to return. Daniel, you got any more questions for Coach?
No, Coach. What do you think? I know and I love how you have just continually talk about the players and how it is about the players. And we all know as coaches, it does make it so much easier. When you have just great kids. Well, what do you think? What do you think has been a key to your success here the last 3 years, besides just the kids? What do you think? I mean, like I said, I know I'm going back to Pikeville and just the culture of Pikeville, but is there just one thing that you could just say that has just led to that success?
If I was going to say one word, it's going to be a mindset. I think that. We've really kind of focused with our girls on there's a lot of outside noise. There's a lot of outside noise from parents. There's a lot of outside noise from social media. There's a lot of outside noise from their peers. And I try to, as much as I am on social media, I try to mirror for the girls that I can only take care of what happens at Pikeville. I can't worry about what happens at these other schools. And I've got to just focus on us and what we have to do. And we also talk about the mindset of that mommies and daddies only worry about what they do. They don't care about what the team does. And The girls have to be tough enough that they're going to walk out of the locker room, and sometimes we may have won the ball game, but parents are going to be disappointed in them. And we've had that conversation that how are you going to handle that conversation with your parents? Are you going to say, hey, we followed the game plan. I didn't play my best game tonight. I'll get the next one. Because if we can teach my kids, I'm not worried about winning ball games. Like that is zero. You know, my main focus is I've got to raise young women that are going to be productive and be great moms and know how that they've got to work with their families, and that they, you know, that we're not just staying at home and doing nothing. We're workers, and how are we going to contribute to the family? And it's the same thing that's going on in our team. There's not one person that's taking care of the family. It's an entire team that is taking care of the family.
I think it's awesome, Coach. I think it's awesome. I think it's a great thing to instill in your players. You know, and one of the hardest things I feel like always coaching, especially it's a blessing and a curse in the state of Kentucky, is we love basketball more than anything, and there's usually everybody in the stands knows how to coach too.
Oh, they
do. So, but I think that's awesome. I think that mindset, that's a perfect word.
You know, Coach, what I've heard from you tonight is I see why there's no reason why you guys don't win this region every year with your team and with the way you approach them. But what I'm gonna come away with tonight in this interview is teammates, because I really don't believe that enough teams really believe in their teammates. If they don't believe in each other, they're never going to succeed. And I believe that 110%. If the one behind the other don't believe in each other, they're not going. And when you said that, I was like, man, that makes so much sense. But you know, it is true, because if you don't work together as a team, you're never going to be the team that you truly want to be. You're just going to be a version of something that you really don't like to be. And I have to say, Coach, when you said that, I'm going to take that to heart, and I'm going to take that use that for future reference.
Thank you. I mean, this is year 24-5 for me. I'm pretty old, so I've been doing this for a long time. So it's, you know, I think the older I got and the older that my son was, it made me understand that it's so much more than wins and losses. And I became a better coach as he grew up because, you know, it becomes about experiences. I'm going to be honest, these kids aren't going to remember scores of basketball games. They're going to remember the time on the bus, the trips we take, the times I acted like an idiot in practice. I mean, those are the things they're going to remember. And if we honestly, truly believe that they're going to remember scores, then we're crazy, because that's not what it's about.
That's great.
Well, Coach, this has been an absolute honor to have you on the show. Would you come back again? I would like to have you come back again. Would you? Yeah, I would love to have you come back.
It's kind of past my bedtime. I'm going to be honest.
Well, that's what I said. You said it was 8 to 10. I was like, see, can't we move this thing up?
Well,
I'm going to get up at 4:45 in the morning and run. And so this is like, this is pushing my bedtime.
Well, when I bring you back on the next time, I'll give you I'll give you my 8-10 slot so that you can.
Well, you can try to do that for me, but we had to practice late tonight because I went to watch my son. He's a manager at UK with women's basketball, so I went to watch that.
Which they got a big win tonight. Good win over.
They played really well today. They played really, really well.
Yeah, 92 to 40 something. It's a big win for them. Coach, unbelievable job you're doing. Keep it up. Good luck to you. I'll be hard at you in the future. And good luck to you and your Lady Panthers.
All right, good deal. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Coach Omar of the or thank you, Coach. Thank you. Of the Lady Panthers of Pikeville.
Bye.
See you later. Daniel, she's a good one.
Oh yeah, it was a very impressive interview. She's a great coach. Put a lot of things in perspective. That's true. You know, coaching.
Her comment about teammates
was
unbelievable. I mean,
coaching's about life lessons more than anything. If you talk to the kids, she's so right too. If you talk to any of the kids I've coached, most of them, they can't remember the wins and losses as much as they can, just the times on the bus, the times with each other. And like she said, when their coach acted like a fool, you know.
Wait a minute. Have you ever done that?
No, it must have been somebody else. No, she was great. I wish her team the best of luck this year.
Oh God, yeah. Well, you see why they're the most dominant in the 15th. You know, a year they've been they won the region 3 straight years. You know, I think they've knocked Central Boys, who's won the region 3 straight years. Why? Coaching. Coaching is what leads you to the promised land. I mean, and she took very little credit for her success. And you know what, Daniel? She should give herself more credit, because I know it's about her girls, but you have to have a good coach to be able to lead them too.
Oh, you do. Absolutely. Absolutely. But, she did what any good coach does. You don't give yourself the praise. You give the kids, because as coaches, we can't make a single shot out there. We can't get a stop. You put kids in the best position and they make the plays.
We were going over the schedule for football before Coach come on, and we're going to finish that. We did mention with her, I had forgot, Daniel, she was the AD at Pikeville. I knew she was the girls' basketball coach up there, so I forgot she was the AD. But she's a busy person, because we talked about Pikeville hosted wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the first good test for Pikeville this year, besides the 2 losses when they had LCA and Madison Central, which were 2 teams that are in the state semifinals also this week. So that tells you just what kind of competition Pikeville's played and how good they are. So, but speaking of LCA, they played Middlesboro. You know what, Daniel? I poo-pooed all year on Middlesboro. I thought, that their schedule, they're not very good. They, we played them twice. I thought we could have played better, and we didn't beat them. I quit that. I think they can if they can control the ground game and time of possession, they've got a chance of beating LCA. But they've got to control time of possession.
Well, when you've got Coach French on the sideline, I mean, he's the 4th winningest coach in Kentucky high school football history. I mean, shouldn't be a surprise what he's done at Middlesboro. I mean, he's come in there and put his system in and got him successful. And what is this, his 2nd year?
Yep.
So
this is his 4th year.
4th year there? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would not count him out. I would not count him out at all.
I mean, LCA is loaded. You've heard about LCA's got, everything, but Middlesboro's the perfect team to go in there and just control that game. And if LCA falls into their path, but we're going to talk with John about that in just a little bit. They could pull that upset, but if they don't control the time of possession, LCA will blow them out.
Right.
Now, you're going to love this next one. Belfry at East Carter. Now, neither one of these 2 teams were supposed to have been here. They both were supposed to be, Belfry was supposed to be here to at least last week. A lot of people thought Bell would beat them. I didn't think so. I picked Belfry in my picks because I thought Coach Haywood got it going. But Coach Haywood started off 0-5, and now he's in the state semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why did that happen?
A culture of football they've got up there at Belfry, just what they've built over the years. I don't think I would be, and it's nothing. I mean, Bell County has a good football program. Dudley does a great job and has for years there. I mean, I guess he's the 2nd all-time winningest coach. But no, I mean, I would be a lot more shocked if Belfry was not playing for a state semifinal or state championship than them being there. I don't care what they did the first.
And they started off 0-5. People thought I was falling because they were 0-5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. The same way I thought Trinity. Trinity started out like 1-5 or 1-6.
1-7.
1-7. You knew they were going to be there at the end. So, I'm not extremely shocked by that either. I mean, he's done a great job for years. You had a couple of comments, Siege.
Oh yeah, Lewis. What was the last one we? I think the last one was they were the front runners for state tournament D&D. Also, D&D wanted to ask that question. You did do that.
Yeah.
Mr. Thomas wanted to know that Pikeville football is a Class A. They think this is the championship for the Class A. Everybody believes. That's the Raceland. That could be a true statement. I mean, I think Raceland Pikeville game winner could win state championship because you got Russellville and Bethlehem in the other game, and I think Pikeville or Raceland, both of them could beat them. So yeah, I think that's a true statement. He also
Lewis
Ratliff said, "Mr. Thomas, is Douglas still in the playoffs?" Douglas is still in the playoffs after they crushed Southwestern last week. They will be at Owensboro. Owensboro is actually going to go to Frederick Douglass on Friday night. That is a 6:30 kick because that's in the Lexington area. And D&D wanted to know
I don't think they wanted to know anything. I think they were just doing a chant for us.
Oh, okay, all right. Then they also, somebody from D&D said, "Oh, chant you have heard on Palm Creek." Yeah, I guess if you've been to a Belfry game, you would hear these things. And I've been to, when we used to play, but I love playing Belfry. I wish we could play them again because I miss the traditional games we used to play with them because that was so much fun when we used to play them. But we got Belfry and East Carter, and I think Belfry is going to win this game. East Carter's got a good football team. They upset the number 1 seed, Christian Academy out of Louisville. But East Carter's getting set to play a Belfry team that has no fear, doesn't care what's going on around them. They were 0-5 start the year. But everybody in that program knew, we're okay, guys. We're nothing wrong with us. Hey, we're going to be right there in the end. Right there they are. And then the last Mountain game, you get what Johnson Central's had to go through this year. The passing of Coach Matney, the emotion they've had to play with every week.
Mm-hmm.
People put him down last week against Corbin, and they just schooled Corbin to no point.
Mm-hmm.
Now they get a chance to get the revenge on the one team that kept them from winning back-to-back state titles last year, and that's Franklin County. The Flyers are coming to Johnson Central to play the Golden Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact Johnson Central is going to use this game as a revenge game. But this game has to mean even more with the emotion they're playing with the passing of Coach Matney and what they've had to go through all season long.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Johnson Central. Make no bones about it. But I mean, with all they've gone through, I mean, you can't. Hey, Sage, we got to get that D&D comment up there. I mean, they said I did a great job, so I mean, we've got to make sure that comment's up there.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get that on the board. I am so sorry. I apologize. I cannot let that go by. Yeah, I mean, because they're not. I don't know. I let that go by. I'm so sorry, Daniel. I saw John come on my screen, and I let that go by. I'm so sorry. He shocked me, and I didn't know what to do. Sorry.
Yeah, pass the buck on to me, huh?
Well, we had to do it to somebody. You just happened to be in the screen with us. So, you actually popped in perfect because we were going over the games for this week. But I want to go back to this past week first. Let's start with the Johnson Central game. I heard somebody tell me early in the day that it was just before the game started, before Johnson Central wins before touchdowns. I said, why? I said, tell me why. And I picked Johnson Central in my picks last week. I thought they, with the stuff been going on all year with Coach Matney and everything else, I thought they were going to play with the emotion. They did, but the guy said, Corbin really, if you really want to look at it, look at their defensive rushing stats against teams that run the football. They've been not good at all. But the reason they win games is they're at 40 points and nobody can't run the football against them. So let's flip the table. Johnson Central, they're never going to change their game plan. When they start doing it, they're going to end up doing it. Just like Belfry. Do you feel like that Corbin's defense was not as elite as we thought? And maybe Johnson Central's is more elite.
Well, you can't underestimate what you said earlier. This is a team of destiny at this point. It seems like to me. I mean, you can't deny it at this point. Even Camille was telling me she was there. She was telling me that it felt like Jim Matney was there.
Yeah.
At least how the team was acting. But sorry, I forgot the question. it was about
Corbin's defense. Was Corbin's defense massively underrated? Because Johnson Central tore them apart. They have over 300 yards rushing. They own time of possession. When Corbin did get the ball, they were getting knocked all over the field. This didn't seem like they were prepared. I'm not the thing Coach Greer didn't have them prepared. I know he did. But it felt like maybe their schedule wasn't. If they played Johnson Central at a different time under different circumstances, probably beat them. That's the flaws I think Johnson Central exposed them.
Yeah, I think when you look at Corbin's defense, I mean, it is generally, they're good on corner. I mean, you got Travion Longmire out there. I mean, that's something I hadn't really thought about that. I watched the stream. I did go through the paywall and watch the stream, and I think a lot of what also hurt Corbin, though, is just those bad momentum swings that went the other way, fumbling on their first possession and that kickoff return that got called back. I mean, that would have – I think if that had gone through, I think that would have been a more competitive game. And I think I would think, we're never going to know, but you would think if that first possession wasn't a turnover, they would have scored and, we'd be talking about a very different result. I still think Johnson Central wins, but I think you hit on it. I mean, there were some things that Corbin just hadn't really been tested on, especially in the running game.
You can't get tested when you're at 45-6 and know what you need to really work on because the teams you play, and it's not. I thought the non-district schedule was not the problem. And I can't blame the district because you got to play who's in your district, but that can sometimes come back to haunt you.
Right. And, playing teams like Wayne County, Lincoln County, it's not going to do it for you. I mean, and you're right. They played good teams out. They played Franklin County. They played Pulaski County. They were playing good teams out of it. It's just nothing can prepare you for that rushing attack of Johnson Central. And I think you're right. It was a combination to that and the momentum swings.
Yeah, I think the guys from D&D said it. Johnson Central really is playing for something a little more right now. That's not taking anything away from Corbin because I think Coach Greer is one of the best defensive.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best coaches in the state of Kentucky.
He's one of the best defensive coaches. He's got a couple state championships there. As an assistant coach, I know Bell. So. Nothing taken away from him at all, but I just think I do believe those boys from Johnson are going to be hard to stop.
It gave me chills up and down my back when I was on air the other night on Sports Overtime. We knew they were playing Franklin County. We knew they were playing him at home. I don't know. I had to, at the end of the show, I had to stretch. We didn't produce enough. So I had to come up with something. I talked about the Johnson Central game this Friday. And I thought, wait a minute, that's the team that he played the last time he coached at home.
Exactly right.
And that is the game that sparked his he told us at the beginning of the season, I am more motivated than I've been in 10 years. And that is a game we try to get that to be our game of the week. It's not going to be our game of the week, but that's something. It gave me chills up and down my back thinking about it.
Oh, I'm sitting here thinking. I'm looking at the 5 games. And I'm wondering. We're going to dive deep into them, but I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the game. These kids are going to take from today. They probably watched last year's game and see Coach Matney out there coaching, and they're thinking, we've got to beat them. They stole one. They stole from us. They had no right to come in here and steal from us. They took our coach. They took everything, and they're going to, you know how it is. They're going to play, and they have the right to because they're a team of destiny. It's like Daniel said. you cannot help not be for them. If you're not for them, then you're not a true Kentuckian because you've got to feel the passion they're feeling right now.
Or you're a Franklin County fan. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Or,
Well, that's true. I did that part. I should have got it there. But really, not a lot of surprises the other night. I think the Belfry game wasn't a surprise. The score was just the final. Because the second half, it's 14-6 at halftime. I'm listening to the game. Second half, it's just they have no answer for the quarterback. The 5-year senior. Do you think we just talked about it a moment ago? 0-5, skies are falling. People are panicking in Pond Creek. Don't know how to respond. Our season's over. We're not gonna wait. Well, you're playing for state semifinal. You started off 0-5. How's that happening? Belfry football. That's all I didn't say. I mean, they could be just like he said earlier. Trinity. They were 1-7 at one time. They're in the state semifinals this week playing Mail. It probably will meet Mail.
What was the year where Kentucky basketball entered the NCAA tournament as like an 8 seed and still made it to the national championship game? That's kind of what this is in a way.
Yeah. What year?
it's when they had Harrison's and Julius Randle.
So it'd been 2013, something around there, probably 2013, 2014, somewhere around there.
14, something like that. Yeah.
Because me and you said here, John and Camille and Courtney, we said, what's wrong with Belford? They're on 3. They're on 4. Well, they're on 5. We said, whoa. Why till they get district play? Let them win a game.
Well, that's
Let
the
them get
thing.
some momentum.
We've also been saying this all season. Well, it's Philip Haywood. It's it's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. So
yeah,
I think they'll win. I think they'll win this week. I mean that East Carter. I don't know enough about that team. I know this though. This is a team that's not used to being in this spot. East Carter. They're not.
When you upset the number 1 team in your class at Christian Academy at Louisville, well, then you deserve to. I mean, you deserve to be there and hosting a playoff game. Mm-hmm. If you've never played Christian Academy at Louisville, they've got men bigger than tree trunks. And I mean, I don't know how big East Carter is, but you would expect they're no bigger than they are. They just took them to school.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go over the 5 games. And there's a couple in the state. Pikeville Wrestling game. We had one person comment in the box. Probably is for the Class A state title. Yes or no?
Yes. And that's this is where my Huntington area tri-state, genes go nuts here because I remember talking to the coach over at Raceland at the beginning of the season. He said, just about any time, whoever wins that Raceland, Paintsville, Betsy Lane, Fairview district, that's the 1A favorite. And it's Raceland this year. It's Raceland's turn. And they were fired up. They were ready. They saw their opening. They knew Paintsville wasn't going to be quite it this year. I mean, they respected them, of course. But the Pikeville, they're hungry. They're angry. They got over that first hurdle, which is beating Hazard twice.
Yeah.
McNamee.
And they took Williamsburg to the woodshed.
Oh, yeah. I was watching that, too. I was watching that. We had, in the sports office, I had to prepare for the Reed Shepherd stuff for the next day. And we had, I think, 5 TVs on. One of them had the Corbin game. One of them had the game of the week, Middlesboro, West Carter. We couldn't find Belfry Bell. But we also had Williamsburg Pikeville on, and we were just kind of catching up. Oh, they scored again. Man, and I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, one of them set a record. I think it was Birchfield, another so many rushing yards in a season. I think you're right. I mean, that's a state title game.
I'm not putting Russellville and Bethlehem are both pretty good ball clubs, but I don't think neither one of them can beat Raceland or Pikeville.
I agree. I think it goes Pikeville's way though, but it'll be close. It'll be
I think it's a close. I think it's a close game, but I think Pikeville takes it. Middlesboro LCA. If Middlesboro can control the clock and time of possession, can they beat LCA?
Camille and I were talking about this yesterday because we were thinking about who we're going to send where. And we were thinking about just having WKYT film that game, send it to us. And then we thought, well, man, if they beat LCA, we'd hate to miss that,
Yeah.
And we keep saying, like, we keep thinking they're going to lose. Because,
Well, I mean, this is a Middlesbrough team. It's different from what Larry French is used to having. But if the quarterback and the big running back can, like I said, if they can control time of possession, then that's going to hurt LCA. Owensboro did a good job that the first half Friday night against the LCA. 21-14 at the half. But then they come back out, adjusted. LCA kept scored, bang, 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 and then it was over. And that's what Middlesbrough's going to keep from doing. Because I thought they did a really good job there now of keeping Wes Carter from doing that. Because I think Wes Carter is a bang, bang, bang offense. And they couldn't bang, bang, bang. They got slowed down so much that it just took them out of the way. Thomas said that LCA and Beechwood 2A are the best teams. Their games won't even be close. I don't think Beechwood, no. I don't. Mayfield's underrated. And I hate to say it about a Mayfield team that they've already lost earlier this year to Caldwell County, but they've come back strong. But I think it'll be a close game, but I do think Beechwood wins. I think LCA wins, but I think Middlesbrough will play better than what people give them credit for. We've done talked about Belfry and East Carter. I think Belfry's going to win. I really do. I think we're going to have 3 mountain teams in Kroger Field come next week. I think
Johnson Central, Pikeville, and Belfry.
Here we go. I don't. Franklin County, like we said earlier, they don't know what's coming to them.
Well, they've also lost some offensive firepower that they had last year. They don't have this. They're not as good offensively as they were.
I think Johnson Central knows to beat them. They got to stop at the UK commit. If they stop him, then I think they'll blow the doors off. Last year problem was Johnson got off to a good start. They got scored early, but then Franklin County took control of the game by getting time possession, and then they couple of turnovers for Johnson Central, and then Franklin County was able to go ahead and put them away. So,
is the Franklin County's OC, is that the girls basketball coach too? Is that still how it is? Do you remember that, Sage, or is he the OC?
I do.
Like the girls basketball coach and the offense coordinator.
I
Anyway,
think
sorry.
I
didn't
believe
put the spot there.
I
But I think it is. But
I think it is too. I believe so. Yeah.
Different, and I'm going to say that I
Coach
think
Coach Thacker.
Sage. Middlesbrough's going to pull the upset. I'm going to say Coach French is going to do it.
Wow.
Against the grain here. I got to call the game with Dwayne when they come and played Leslie this year. And one thing that I was just impressed with him about, when you're coaching, it's keep it simple, stupid, and that's what he did. Continually. He would run the same play 4 times in a row if it worked. It didn't matter. That's just a guy that has a ton of wins under his belt. But I'm going to go against the grain here, Siege. So you can next week, if I'm wrong, I won't be on the show, so you can roast me.
Well, I won't roast you hard, but I think if they can control the clock, they got a chance. LCA is a really good team, and they are. Them and Beechwood have been on collision course all year long to go play. But here's where Middlesbrough is going to find out how strong their schedule was and how good they really are, because this is what you want to. You're playing the top team in Class 2A football.
Mm-hmm. You are. I know. Yeah, 13-0.
Yeah.
Well, also, you don't want to discount.
They've got 7 kids that are Division 1. 6 of them already signed with Division 1 schools.
It's unbelievable. Don't discount that West Carter win. West Carter's. They're not as good as they were last year, but still, that was a pretty solid win. I thought it was when I was talking to our salespeople when they were doing, because that was our game of the week. I was like, it's gonna be a good game. It's going to be evenly matched, and it wasn't. So
you thought it was. On paper it looked like that. So yeah. Before we move on to other subjects, there's some nice games out and left in the state, but the one that catches my mind, Madison Central versus St. X. The reason why Coach Mike Holcomb still alive, the most underrated coach I think ever in football. I know he's won 2 state titles. I know he's got a field named 3 state titles. Thank you, Daniel. He's won 3 state titles. He's got a field named after him. He's coached at several schools. He took a school that won 1 ball game last year, and he's got him in the state semifinals. And people thought he still could not coach. Now, what's that tell you about him?
I mean, he's adapted. I mean, I don't know if people thought he couldn't coach and they hadn't been watching football the last 30 years.
Yeah, I mean,
And the guy can coach. I mean,
what do you think, John? I mean, Daniel's right. Daniel's getting around the nose up there. The man can still coach.
Yeah, and I mean, Madison Central has had a fantastic year. I haven't been following them as much, but just what they did with Pikeville, what they did against Southwestern. I mean, it's a good team. It's a good. Or no, I might be thinking about Madison Southern.
Yes.
I have just gotten to the point where I don't need Google Maps to figure out how to get to Pineville. So I'm getting there.
I don't know where you're from, John, but I mean, I see you got the Ohio shirt on, you got West Virginia behind us. I mean,
I was born right across the street from Mountaineer Field in Morgantown. So.
We'll forgive you for that. You know, you're over here. You're over here now, so it's you're in God's country now. So
your conference has been causing a lot of problems. Yesterday was a rough day for Oregon, who probably just ended any chance of them getting a chance to play for the national championship. But let's talk about Kentucky a little bit. What'd you think? Solid performance, slow start, but solid. And then we found out today a night game in Papa John Stadium on ESPN2. That smells like, to me, the ingredients to, if you don't come ready to play, maybe a tough game of L if they don't come to play.
I'll be there too, and Malik Cunningham is no joke.
You're going?
Yeah,
lucky dog.
I am going to Lexington the night before. I'm either covering the UK game or the Middlesbrough game. We haven't figured that out yet. But if I cover the Middlesbrough game and they win, I'm going to find Daniel Day on Twitter and be like, he said it first. He said it first 5 days ago.
Yeah, I like that. Make sure
I love
it.
It's at DDay33. That's the Twitter.
Gotcha. I'm going to find it as soon as this is over. But if they come out like they did yesterday and play like that at Louisville, oh my goodness, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. We're going to be going to the Belk Bowl.
Don't bring my hopes down. If they beat Louisville, what will they get, you think?
I've been going along with the idea that if they finish out the season 9-3, that they're going to Florida in some way, shape, form, or fashion.
Outback,
Citrus Bowl, Gator Bowl, Outback Bowl, one of those three. That's what I'm thinking in the background. I know part of it is business, so it's just kind of figuring out what's the best matchup, who's the Big Ten team they're going to play. If they play a Big Ten team, I'm thinking the one I've been seeing the most is Outback Bowl against either Wisconsin or Iowa. Yeah. And either one would be a good game, I think. But
yeah,
I think I don't know really what to say about that New Mexico State game. I mean, Levis almost got picked off several times. He's got to clean some stuff up still. I don't know if that was mental. I don't know if that was just, I don't know what was going on, because from the second half of the Vanderbilt game, I just don't know what's been going on with this team.
Yeah, I agree with John on that too, because you would think with a guy like as Levis, as strong of an arm as he's got, he still underthrows. He underthrows people. I mean, that you would think there's no way. I know he overthrew Wandale on one that could have been big late, but he's not throwing to the guys on till they get out of their breaks. And I mean, a better team, there would have been a couple pick sixes. I don't think either defense though is going to be able to stop anybody. I think it's going to be a Tennessee Kentucky game. It's going to be high scoring. I don't know. I probably in the 40s or 50s at least.
This is where my conference's expertise comes in. I'm used to these.
Yeah, you guys like these shootouts because you see this coming week is the last real true week of the regular season. So this is what you call chaos week because you got all the big rivals, you got all the big games, you've got so many games that mean so much that the same 4 teams that might be in there Tuesday night may not be the same 4 that you see the following Tuesday because you got Ohio State plays Michigan. Now, I think Ohio State's opened up as a 14.5 point favorite. That's way too high, especially in the big house. But I do remember 2 years ago when Ohio State went down there, they beat them 61-7. So, going there. And what they did to Michigan State yesterday, I think that's way too many points, but we'll have to wait and see. But the Oklahoma State games got so much on that game this week. Ohio State game. I don't think the Auburn-Alabama games got a lot of bearing. I know Alabama's already locked up the SEC championship, but lose to Auburn, and then you have to beat Georgia because you're not getting in with 3 losses.
Well, I mean, with the way Auburn's been the last couple of weeks, I'd argue they're not getting in even if they do beat Georgia. I mean, if they lose to Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be, I'm going to assume this is what the top 4 is going to be. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Cincinnati. It's got to be Cincinnati at this point.
Cincinnati now. I mean, why?
If Cincinnati don't get it after this weekend, then you know there's somebody that is keeping them out of there in the committee, and we have to find out who it is because we're going to get that guy out of there. Because I know Cincinnati ain't the greatest team, but they deserve to be in there right now.
Well, I mean, this is something that I always just talk about with my dad. They can't control the athletes themselves cannot control who they play.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the same thing with Corbin in the district. You can't control. You can't help that they have to play Wayne County. But I mean, I just don't see anyone else that is more deserving. I mean, Michigan maybe if they beat Ohio State, but I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. So, what if you say this happens? It could. You never know. What if Michigan beats Ohio State? What if Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State? What if Cincinnati stubs their toe against who they playing? UAB? No. Who do they got? I think they have
it's a road game.
I think they're at East Carolina.
I think that could be.
Then they got Houston in the championship game of the conference.
Then you got other games that have bearings. Like, what if Auburn upset Alabama? So what if all these barriers happen?
You've lost.
I don't think he'll think it happens.
I mean, it's too much.
Then you would none of your top 4, for the exception of Georgia, who's playing Georgia Tech, which they'll beat Tech 60 because Notre Dame beat them 50. Georgia's the only team that I think will win easy this coming week. I think everybody else is going to struggle to win or get beat. And then you got the committee really going to have to look at it. Then they're going to have to take them all the way to the championship weekend. And then there's going to be 2 games that's probably going to say yay or nay if you get in or not.
CJ,
and it's going to hurt teams on the other end too.
You're wanting pure chaos.
I do. I want chaos.
You're losing me, man.
I know where to go.
I want chaos. I want.
He wants 2007 back.
Yeah.
And as a West Virginia fan, I can tell you 2007 sucked.
I mean, you get chaos going. So look at all your lower teams there. They'd be like, hey, they lost. Hey, it's happening. Things are happening for us. But I mean, I like chaos. So that's just I'm going to leave you on the Reed Shepherd commitment. I told somebody at our scrimmage game the other night, girls scrimmage, I said that the only reason this is being done Saturday is because he's going to UK. If he was going anywhere else, he would have waited another month. What do you think? Was I right on that?
I think he wanted to just get it over with. Yeah. I think he wanted to play out the next 2 seasons. He didn't want to have to worry about 24/7 and rivals following him around everywhere he went. And the Athletic, speculating on, he's on campus, or, he took a visit to Ohio State again, or all that. I think he just wanted to get it all over with and just, enjoy his time at North Laurel. The one thing that was actually amazing for me to hear is that, his parents did not push him towards Kentucky. That was all him. And I think, I like how everything went down. I'm glad that it's over for him, and I'm glad it's over for me, because I wake up at 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday.
I'm gonna try to make it happen if I can. I would like to have him on the show. I just like to get his time frame of how he wants to finish his final 2 seasons, and what he's thinking about, what he thinks he can bring to the UK program, and everything. I know I would love to do that. Hopefully, I can get that done, because that would be a great interview. Because I like watching Reed play. I think he's a great player. I think he's, I think he's not. I don't think he's even tapped his potential, what he can do. When he taps it, then people will know it. And but that was a great. I'm so glad he did that, because I think he'll do some good things there. His daddy did some good things there when he played at UK. So, and his mom when he played for the women's team. So it'll be good to see that. So, what's your game of the week?
We don't know. We don't know if we're going to have one, just because Johnson Central said no. Pikeville is usually a non-starter. They have an exclusive thing with Mountaintop Media.
Yeah. And
the other 2 aren't in the mountains. So, Belford, East Carter, maybe, and then the other one, I don't think we're going to go to LCA. So, I don't think we're going to have one this week. But we have so few games at this point.
Yeah.
We're going to have reporter presences, just about all of them, like we had last week. So,
now don't forget Wednesday night they got that big scrimmage at Betsy Lane. You got those. Got some good matchups. You got Pikeville playing Prairie Central, Betsy Lane. You got they got 5 games. Cordia is going to be there. I don't want you guys to forget about that. Don't forget about Saturday. I think South Laurel's having a big panorama. Coach Thompson was telling us about it. And then of course
there's one in Martin County too. I think on Saturday.
And
North
they're having
Laurel's
a big one at Floyd Central Girls.
That's right.
Top girls
That's right.
teams are going to be there. Letcher Central, Knox Central, Lawrence County. Some of the better girls teams are going to be there as well. We're going to be playing in it. We're playing the late game against Floyd Central. So just reminding you guys of some panoramas and scrimmages going on the next 2 or 3 days. So you might want to get out there and get you some highlights.
Sure thing. We'll try to be there. It's a little tough this week. We got Courtney and Camille both off most of the week. They're going back home for Thanksgiving, but we'll definitely see what we can do to get on out there.
Who's going to be with me next week? Do you know?
We don't know. Probably, I would have. Let's see, Sunday, 28th, right? Yeah. So, I would imagine me, but I'll let you know if it isn't. Yeah. I'm glad I can just be fine for it.
John, look. When any of you three can come on, it's awesome, because it makes it for good TV. And we got a big week of football, and hopefully we can get 3 mountain teams going to Kroger Field, and let's get that. And if Daniel Day's right about that Middlesboro one, we may have 4. So you never know.
Hey,
John,
this is the week for it. I'm from West Virginia. You're from Kentucky, but there's something we both have in common. L's down. We both hate Louisville.
John, you have an unbelievable week. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. You be safe, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Thank you very much. You too, CJ. See you, Daniel.
John. All right, see you, John. John Lowe from WYMTV Sports Director. Daniel Day, the man. And I want to comment, Lewis Ratliff, and I can't pronounce Thomas' first name. Garen. You guys have been awesome tonight. You two have lit the board up with comments. And D&D Sports Network. They have come in here tonight, and the comment of the night, though, is this one right here. That right there. That one's flashing across many screens across America. That one right there is the comment of the night. Some of the latest comments that they've made, Lewis mentioned East Carter's head coach is a former Pikeville guy, Tim Chambers. D&D says, I can't promise you boys for high purpose.
They're playing for Johnson Central.
Yeah. Thomas mentioned that LCA Beechwood were the best teams. We mentioned that. LCA is one of the best teams in the classes. He's right.
He's right.
But if Dale gets that prediction right, then it will that might be a non-starter. They need to expand the playoffs and get rid of the RPI. Well, they actually are going to get rid of the RPI. It's going to be gone when they do realignment year after next. And did you guys see the boys King of the Bluegrass tournament basketball bracket and some of the matchups? I have not, but Thomas, I will get that. I will get that bracket, and I will mention. We'll go over that next week with Mr. Mark Collin. He's another great basketball guru, just like Daniel Day. We'll go over that, and if you comment like you did tonight, I'll give you my thoughts on those games. Okay, so you guys have done a fine job. Thank you so much. This is what I want, Daniel, right here. I need people in the box commenting, giving me comments, keeping us going because we need stuff to talk about. So it's been unbelievable. Let me go ahead and put our final finishing touches on tonight. Let's see. Let me go ahead and say that I want to thank everybody for being on the show. I want to thank Coach Hoskins, Coach Thomas for trying. I bless his heart. His Wi-Fi just would not cooperate. Hopefully, Coach Thomas can get to another area where he can get some better internet. We'll bring him back and we'll do it again. We'll do that. Coach Pikeville girls coach. Say it, Daniel. Say her last name.
Orm.
Coach Orm. We want to thank her for being here. She was a delight. She brought a lot of good insight to us. And, of course, John for all of his great stuff that he brings with us every week. I want to thank my co-host. Let me get that comment again. Let me get that on the board here. Let me put that right back up here. Right there. Put that up. We'll leave it up there. Comment of the night, but I really want to thank Daniel for being here tonight. Daniel, I'll let you give your final comments in just a moment. You've been unbelievable and awesome as always, and I could have you every week, but I know you got things to do, and I know you'll come back a little bit later here in the season. We'll bring you back for another show.
Yep, just wherever you want me to see, Joe. Any way I can. I enjoy coming on, talking, and meeting new
you're awesome at it.
You
do great.
So thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm going to I'll be back with you Wednesday. I'll be back with you Tuesday night. Because I'm going to do my sports report on Tuesday night. Because Wednesday night, got a girls' scrimmage at Floyd Central. Thursday's Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be at wrestling. Speaking of wrestling, let me go ahead and get this out of the way. AMW is having their Thanksgiving Turmoil main event. Kyle Maggart versus John Noble in a no disqualification match. No belts on the line, just a lot of pride and no disqualification. It's going to be 6 or 7 matches. Also on Friday night too, there'll be a TV taping of AMW Wrestling. Come on by at the Whitaker Athletic Center, Jeff, Kentucky. Stop in. Thursday night show starts at 7. Also Friday night show also starts at 7. But I'll be back with you for the high school sports report on Wednesday night or Tuesday night at somewhere between 8:30 and 9. Get you ready for week 14 picks and ratings and whatever else we can get into. I'll be back with you Sunday night with episode number 16 of the CJ Howard Show. As I said, Mark Collins's going to be my co-host. Also going to be with me, 2 of my guests I can tell you right now, Bobby Boland, athletic director at Owsley County High School, and new head basketball coach of the Engineers of Estill County, Mr. Brian Hall. He'll be with me as well. We'll be with you at 8 o'clock, and we'll have some other guests, and we'll have a good time. Guys, stop by my YouTube channel, the CJ Howard. Just type it in. You can go subscribe for me. Get me 1,000 subscribers. I can do a lot more live stuff over there in the future. Also, I want to remind everybody, too, that don't forget, we'll be back with you on Sunday night, but I want to wish everybody a early happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, your families, from here from the CJ Howard Show. We love you all. We love what you bring to the show. We love bringing it to you. And we just want to go ahead and bring you an early happy Thanksgiving. Daniel, go ahead and give me your final comments, and then we'll get out of here.
Just echoing what you said, Sage. Just a great night tonight. Really enjoyed it. Look forward to coming back again, and like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and all the Mountain teams who are playing this week, this weekend. And also, always got to say, go Eagles, go Eagles.
Also, I need to think if I'm not wrong. Daniel, can you correct me? Maroon White Night, Friday night for the Eagles, right?
I think so, Siege. I think
Friday night at the Nixon Center. If you're going to be in the area, Coach Rice and the boys are going to have a fun night of I think 3-point shooting, maybe dunk contest, some skill stuff, and then there's scrimmage Maroon White right after that. So go check them out. The boys already had their first scrimmage. They done that a couple nights ago, and they go out and check them out as well there as well. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I want to thank everybody who was part of the show. And Daniel, don't leave me after we get off the air. I want to say something to you when we're not live. I want to thank everybody for being here. And again, I want to thank good luck to all of our teams. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving as well. This is CJ Howard, Daniel Day. And this is CJ Howard saying the famous words I always do. CJ Howard, red and third, heading for home. Good night, everybody. God bless you. We'll see you Tuesday night with the Sports Report and Sunday night with the CJ Howard Show. Good night, everybody.